Hello everyone, today I'll be showing you how you can create PDF files in your n8n workflows for free. We can do so by using an open source tool called Carbone, which allows you to generate PDF and documents from a JSON input. By the end of this tutorial, we'll create an SEO workflow that will allow us to generate a PDF document similar to this. The contents within the document will change based on the JSON data that we will provide. I'll be following my article on opensourcehustle.com and I'll have a link to that article in the description. To get started, make sure that you have Docker Desktop installed. If you haven't already, click on the Docker Desktop link and download Docker Desktop for your operating system. Next, go to your preferred directory and let's create our compose.yml file. And copy and paste the directives that I have provided. If you already have a YAML file set up with an n8n instance in it, then you could copy just the Carbone section and add it to that YAML file. And make sure you include the secrets section as well. You'll notice that we'll be using keys to authenticate with Carbone. So before spinning up these containers, let's create those keys. I'm going to save the YAML file and go down to the next section. Now we need to create a template that Carbone will use to generate the PDF document from it. In my case, I'll be using Google Docs to create that template, and I have a link to an example template over here. Now Carbone will use certain tags and replace the content within them. We will provide Carbone with two things, the template and the JSON. Carbone will look through these tags and replace them with our JSON keys. So if in our JSON we have a key name title main, it will replace the contents here with the value of that key. So let's download this document as Microsoft Word and let's add it to our working directory. I've downloaded the template and added it in our working directory. Let's go back to the tutorial, and now it's time to create the keys. Copy the commands to use OpenSSL to create the private and public keys. After creating both keys, we can now start our containers by running docker compose upd. Make sure that the Docker desktop application is running before doing so. As you can see, both of our containers are running. Now it's time to generate a token using the keys. We will use that token to authenticate with Carbone and upload our template to it. To do so, Carbone recommends using steps. So click on the link in the article. In the article, I'm following the steps for Windows, but at the moment I'm on macOS, so I'm gonna scroll up to the macOS section, and all you have to do is brew install step to install step. As I said in the article, I have the Windows steps, so you'll use wingit to install step. If that doesn't work, you could install it manually using the following command, and then also running it manually, as you'll see in the step below. In our case, step is installed and working, so let's copy this part, which will set the expiration time for the token, in this case 100 days. The output that you will see, it's basically your token. Copy the token and save it. Next, we need to upload our template to the Carbone server. First, let's add the API token to our variable by replacing this text. Add your token, enter. Next, we will use this curl command to upload our document. But before doing so, let's print our working directory and the contents within it. Now let's copy this command. Again, as you can see, the syntax here is using Windows syntax. Let's replace the contents. After the add sign, copy and paste the working directory path, then the document name, and click enter. This will give you the template ID. Make sure you save the template ID as well. So now we have the token created and the template created. Now we can jump to n8n and create our workflow. So here I'm gonna open our n8n container and I'm going to create a user. Now I have the workflow ready on the website. Just go to the article and click on this icon to download the workflow. Now go back to n8n, create workflow, click over here and import from file. Select the downloaded workflow and you have it ready. Now there's a couple of things here that you need to prepare and replace. First, you have the OpenAI chat model. Make sure you add your credentials on all the nodes. Next, we have the HTTP node. This is the node that sends the request to the Carbone container to generate the PDF document. Let's open the node. You'll notice here that there is the template ID section. Replace it with your template ID that you have saved previously. Then go to the bottom and you'll see the token section here. Also add your token in this section and save. Do the same with the second node. Add your template ID here, then the token here. Close it and save. Now let me explain this workflow. It starts with the form submission node, which will request the user to add a website URL and their email. Next, an HTTP node will get the data of that website page. Then the workflow splits into two sections. The only difference between the two sections is the different tasks for each agent. One will be conducting on-page SEO audit, the other will be conducting off-page SEO. So in the prompt section, you will see that I'm prompting the agent to conduct an SEO audit on the provided page. Also, as you can see that I'm letting the agent know that I'm using Carbone and I want a JSON output that is suitable for Carbone. So I've added here the different sections in my template. Also, I required a specific output format and added an example format of how I want the output to be formatted. Let's run this workflow step by step to see how it works. I'm going to run it until the agent node. So here it is requesting the URL and email. I'm going to use the NASA website for this test. So here is the NASA URL, and for email, I'm just gonna put a dummy email. And I'm going to submit. Now if I click on the agent, we can see that the input was the page, and in the output we have the key values named exactly like we named them in our document. Also notice that some keys have a list value, and Carbone can loop over these values if you provide it with the correct syntax. If I go back to the template, I can show you what kind of syntax you need to use. It needs to be like this. Provide the key name with the I inside brackets, and the second one I+1. This will make sure it will loop over the list and print all the contents. Now let's move to the next step. This should use our template ID to generate the document. If we open it, we can see that it generated the template and it provided us with the ID of that template. Let's open the next node, and we can see that we can get this template by following the following URL and providing it with the render ID that we previously got. So let's run this step, and we can see that in the output it provided us with the document which we can download. Let's download and view this document. As you can see, it replaced the contents within the document using the JSON data that we provided. The final step of the workflow is sending the document through Gmail. If you're interested in this step, just activate it and add your credentials. Everything else is already set up. I hope this gives you an idea on how you can generate PDF documents for free. And that's it. I hope you found this useful, and I'm always looking for useful open source technologies. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Take care.